that we can use it. As we would like our employees and students coming back to campus, we would like to make sure the most important part of it, how to provide them the safe environment. And that's where we can go ahead and try to look into different applications that we have inbuilt that provides that information. Smart is definitely necessary, but what's next? How can we take that smart business decisions based on data that we receive? How can we improve our network environment? How can we improve our retail environment and retail footprint? How can we monitor? So that decisions can be done with the help of the smart and seamless work environment that we would like our visitors, our customers, our even parents visiting campus. They can go ahead and have it. And how can a person can go from one place to another? So let's talk about it. Safe. As a workplace services manager and a strategy team, we would like to understand that how can we make sure our campus is safe to open? And it is a safe place for people to come back. How can we make sure that we are compliant with local government guidance? How can we go ahead and do cleaning along with the deep cleaning, which areas that requires it? And on top of it, the most important part, how can we keep our employees and visitors safe and informed? As we have seen that a lot of students and employees are looking forward to coming back to campus. They are really interested, but some might be conscious as well. And they are like anxious to know that whether it is going to be a safe place, who and where I will be sitting, and is it actually safe place for me to be there? So what can we do? Once they sign up, we can actually go ahead and before they walk in, we can provide them information that what are the floors which are safe for them to be, where the restrictions are. When was the last time a COVID case was informed? And a phone number if they have any additional questions. Last but not the least is cafeteria hours, right? And what's special on the menu. We can provide that information as well. So when an employee walk into the lobby, first thing that they will be able to see that digital signage and able to see that green color that they feel safe, that this is the right place to go ahead, walk in, and that will encourage them to take the next steps towards their desk. They will be able to see that, okay, what is the maximum safe occupancy is and current occupancy. And all that we can talk more about it API trigger and how we can go ahead and set up that. Moving on to let's talk about a case scenario where an employee enters the campus, look into the digital signage and feels that this is a safe place for them to walk into that, and they can go ahead where to sign up for alerts. So she can go ahead and sign up into Capri portal and sign up for alerts. It provides the notification and alerts in case of a critical situation. So we can inform our employees, our students, that whenever there is an extra information that they are looking for, they can get it like an engagement app. We can plan it out for every day or first day of a week that they walk in. Or even our visitors, we can do that as well. So after our employee or student, they go ahead, they sit at their desk or designated office. The next thing comes into the picture is for our workspace services manager and a strategy manager to understand what's going around throughout different campuses or different branch locations that they have it, right? And the next thing is to how to be more proactive. How can we receive alerts when it actually that happens? And that's through the density triggers. Let's jump into it to talk and understand more about right now and density triggers. So right now application, it takes the information from your Wi-Fi BLE RFID tag. It can also take the data and information from Meraki camera. And yes, we can select and deselect enterprise and visitor network. It can compare with our daily historical average, what we have seen, to understand what's going on at that network or that location, provides an impact on safety and compliance. So for right now, we can get the information from what's happening in the last 10 minutes. And on the top of that, it's daily average. We can have the granular information of each location and each floor compared to the daily average. And we can see that, hey, why there was sudden increase? Why was there a sudden decrease in it that is happening right now? And customer behavior we can observe it with right now. And that's good, right? But it's not enough. We would like to be more proactive. We would like to understand that how can we get that information? So our density rules and triggers helps us to take an action on it. And the action, it depends upon how we set up our rule. So we can go ahead and set up a rule for a branch location, a campus environment, or for example, let's talk about a library. We want to make sure our students can use library, but at the same time, we want to make sure that it is a safe place. So we should say that, okay, not more than 500 students should be there for our 5 floors and more than 50,000 square foot library. And if that density trigger has been set, it provides the information that as soon as a new student tries to walk in, we will be able to get that trigger right away through different ways. We'll talk about it shortly. So we talked about count based, right? The second thing is we can go ahead and talk about density based per square foot or based on an occupancy. If we go ahead and allow only 30% occupancy for 1,000 students, that would be only 300 people will be allowed in a building. But how often it is being checked, this is good, but we would like to understand how often it is being checked. So density rules are checked every minute. And as we talked about it, how can we go ahead and send that information right now, right away? So there are different ways through SMS, API trigger, API calls, or email. We can also schedule how often we would like to go ahead and trigger that and when to send. So this is good information, but it also helps to understand with a report, why is it happening and to understand how can we prevent that in future. So we have density trigger reports as well. Even our workspace team manager and members, they often get busy with their day-to-day work. And as everything else, we have the integration of this density trigger through our WebEx team space. So as soon as if you are going ahead and keeping your cell phone or SMS email, if you're not checking, the one thing that everyone always monitor is their WebEx team space. And they can get their trigger right now, right away, so that all other people in the team can get that information. Why is it happening? And they can prevent other people to enter that building and continue to make sure that it's a safe place for the rest of the people that they are working. So as we said before, that safe is necessary. but we would like our campus to be smart. How can we make it better? How can we drive that information that we collect through Cisco wireless network to drive business outcomes, right? And that's where we can go ahead and understand what space is used in our campus, what locations are being used. Is that lab that we have set it up, if our students are using it right now? Or if to make sure that if the fourth floor of building 10 is actually currently being used by our employees, if they have started coming back, right? To understand location, but to understand behavior of people, how often that they are feeling comfortable to come to office. Is it once or is it twice? And on the top of that, how can we make their experience better, right? And experience better, we can make sure that our team that invest in the infrastructure changes, what are the changes that they are able to see and the behavior pattern, right? Overall, before remodeling and after. So let's jump into it. What are the different applications that are out there that can provide us to take business solutions out of it? So business decisions can be made based on the location analytics app. What is a location analytics app? It provides us the information about the visit and the number of visitors across the different locations, how long they are staying, and understand when we call visitors, or it can be our students, it can be our employees, and understand about the dwell time breakdown, why our employees are staying on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for more than 8 hours or 6 hours, while on Friday, what can we do to make it better experience? Why they are staying for 5.5 hours? So all that good information we can understand. Behavior Matrix app, it provides us the detailed information now as the visit duration, right? If the San Jose floor 1 compared to the San Jose floor 2, what's the difference in it? Why we are seeing different number of people? Why we are seeing the difference in a building 1 compared to building 7? And what is there? Is it because of organization? Or is it because of certain type of people work there? And all that historical data can be found in our behavior matrix app. Moving on to impact analysis app. So we talked about the amount of investment that has been taken into consideration or that has been made to add another floor in our library. And that to improve and allow our students to go ahead and use extra space. So why those changes has been invested and made? What was their scenario before that and after that? And that helps to understand or more about the remodeling that takes place on a fourth floor of our building 10, that we have done it and we are able to see that our employees have started using that space more or utilizing it. So that's the achievement for our business, that what they have invested, they are seeing that our employees are using it for better outcome. Seamless experience. We would like to understand how we can provide and onboard our visitors or even parents on campus without any touch, without asking any information. How can we help them navigate, right? If parents are there on the campus, they would like to take a tour and understand where is their library, compared to other campus locations that they would like to on cafeteria? How can they go ahead and move around that? Or if we have an employee, an important meeting is there, how can we go ahead and find that meeting room on a different camp, on a different building, in the same campus environment, on a different floor? That is difficult to navigate. But is there a solution for it? Yes, we have it. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about a scenario when the guest walks in. Typically, we have seen it that they go ahead and ask for a username and password to connect with and fill that form for sign up. Over here, we can go ahead, fill the form. Here's my first name, last name, email, and they can connect to internet. So automatically connected to Wi-Fi, but the next time, whenever that person visits, he or she will be automatically connected. So it's like seamless connectivity during all visits for the amount of time that you would like to. Let's consider another scenario when executive is at the branch location and executive was not expecting this meeting, but all of a sudden there is a meeting and she is trying to look for a meeting room. How can they, how can she find it? So with the help of our WebEx board and find out the nearest meeting room which is available, and it provides and gives the direction how to reach there. So with the integration of Cisco DNA Spaces, WebEx, and our partner application, we can provide that. I still remember when I was on campus that people used to come to my desk asking for a location for a meeting room because they are from the different places, different part of the campus, or traveling. And even sometimes I had a difficulty to point out in the right direction. So with our wayfinding application, our partner application, they can go ahead and try to use it, and they can help to actually find that exact location, which meeting room that they would like to achieve. And talking about wayfinding, we are going to have our partners in our next session, showcasing how exactly the wayfinding that they can be deployed and overall architecture. What are the different parts of hardware or software that will be required? So don't forget to sign up for our next session as well. Let's move on. Proximity reporting app. We all wish that our coworkers and everyone remains safe. Whoever we get in touch with, they remain safe with this COVID. But as we have started coming back to office, our students have started coming back to campus, it is our responsibility to make sure that we can continue to monitor and make sure and provide informed decision if somebody has been tested COVID positive. So we can do that with the help of tracing proximity. So no additional application is required on your mobile phone or additional hardware is required for it. So let's see how we do it and what detailed information can we find. So let's talk about a scenario where an employee reports to HR that he has been tested positive. HR puts the user ID of that person in a proximity reporting app. It provides the information, the two most important, what areas that person has been, and who else that has been in contact with. And based on that, we can have an integration with ServiceNow that can provide extra information or the next steps. So what will be the next steps after an employee reports? First and foremost is talking about cleaning and maintenance. We can reach out and understand where that person has been, which areas require more enhanced deep cleaning. Based on that, the next step is to understand whom that person has been in contact with based on the distance. And we can go ahead and make changes in the distance as well, along with different floors to include. And based on that, we can go ahead and inform that a person has been tested positive so that they can continue to monitor their health and inform us based on an impact interviews. So let's talk about how can we actually create and what data that we can use it. So how do we create a proximity report? It basically uses an user ID if it is available. It can also use BLE or RFID tag as well. On the top of that, it provides us the information about where the distance-wise, within the same floor or within the same building that we would like to, or within even 10 feet or 30 feet. Time range it can provide. When do we like to run that report? And last 5 days to understand that we do not miss anything. Moving into, it provides no username is shown in that section details of proximity report or MAC address has been masked. It provides us the information about the floors, the impact, the number of days that it has been, and where it is. The granular information is being provided, as we can see in the below. So exactly our proximity reporting will be providing us, as we can see on the top row as the distance within 30 feet, same floor or same building. And in the left column, we can see the time, more than 4 hours. It's less than 4 hours, but more than 15 minutes. So we are interested to provide information and found that there are 50 people interacted on same floor for more than 15 minutes, but less than 4 hours. MAC address and contact duration between the test client and a different device. The username is always being automatically used. Accuracy. It is very important to use location hierarchy to get that granular information. And for location hierarchy, we will talk more about it, but it is the maps that can be imported through prime infrastructure or DNA center so that it can provide a granular information about within 2.5 meter accuracy. If it's not available, it will be more about 10-meter accuracy. For data deduplication, user ID is used for the search on the map for understand where that device or the person has been. Moving on. So we talked about that where the username and where it is being used. So for proximity reporting use case, it is definitely required, and it requires the proximity tracking to understand and get that information in detail. But is there a way if we are just going to use behavior metrics or location hierarchy or detect and locate just to understand for rogues? Can we go ahead and protect the data? Yes, we can. So through personal identity information of a user can be maintained. We can use an hash algorithm to anonymize MAC address, IP address, or usernames. And that can be done through DNA Spaces connector. So we talked about a lot of capabilities, right? Let's go ahead and jump on to go ahead and see what we can set it up and how can we set it up. So logging into our Cisco DNA Spaces. Let's go ahead and jump onto the location personas app and see what can we do. So in location personas app, for us, we would like to understand about CXC visitor, for example, that we have set it up and how we have set it up or what else that we can set it up for. We would like to understand for location personas when a user is on Wi-Fi and they are trying to enter the location. We can go ahead and select based on the location that we would like to, or the entire US in our scenario. We can identify based on unfiltered opt-in for our captive photo. If there are additional tags that we would like to add, we can go ahead and select, and we can include or exclude certain type or certain areas. On top of that, we would like to make sure that, okay, at least we want to go ahead and track how many people are coming 3 times from last 7 days, right? We would like to go ahead and see how many are coming. And schedule. We can go ahead and set up a date range when we would like to run this rule, time range that we would like to run this from morning 7 to 6, or is it going to be different? And days of the week. Actions. So we would like to go ahead and tag users, which are employees. And we are, for this particular rule, we are not looking for visitors. So let's take a look into what does it provide. So under CXC employee, as we have been running this rule for a very long time, let's take a granular look into it from November of 2020 to March of 2021 and see that how many devices were being tagged or how many we were able to see it. As we can see that in the type, it has been varying and changing, and especially from December 27 to January 3rd, makes sense that our employees were not coming back because it was the Christmas holidays. And again, we were able to see increase in the number. Also provides us the information about tagging by time of the day. But that is good, right? But let's talk about, hey, what else? How many visitors were there during that same time? And that provides us the number of information that maybe apart from employees, we were able to see it, and we were not limiting it for 3 days out of 7 days. So we are able to see a lot more devices were being tagged, or a lot more visitors were there. So this is good. Let's talk about the important information that was being shown, right? That how can we go ahead and engage with our visitors? How can we go ahead and engage with our employees? Whether they are trying to walk into the campus or once they settle down after reaching to their desk on first day or the second day, or continues to do it for every day in this situation. We can proactively inform them. How can we proactively inform them? Through different ways. Let's go ahead and take a look. In our engagement app, we have CXC welcome back. And let's take a look into it. We would like to run this rule where a user is present at the location for at least 5 minutes. So by the time when an employee walks into the lobby, look at the digital signage, and walks to the designated space at their desk, or a student going back into their dorm and looking into that, okay, let me go ahead and make sure that this is still and provide extra information. We can see that, okay, this is for US. We would like to go ahead and monitor and include only our San Jose visitors for this. And we would like to engage them and provide an information through that engagement app, through email, and provide that information. Hey, welcome back. We are glad to see you, and provide detailed information if they have any additional questions. So what does that information is, and how many we were able to see it? So as we can see that the total engagement that took place from November of last year, and March of this year. We can see that, okay, total engagements have been this, and what are the unique users that are out there, which are in pink over here. What is the typical time of the day that we have been engaged? So this is where we have engaged a lot of people over here. But if we just want to go ahead and see how many total that our DNA spaces have engaged visitors, we can go ahead and take a look into visitor engagement. And as you can see, the number of people, it has increased all the way from 300, a typical, and sometime in November, early December timeframe, and it reduced at the end of the December and increased in January. So it provides how many people that we are reaching out and providing that information. This is good. What else, right? What else that we can do? We would like to understand what's happening right now in our campus so that we can go ahead and make a decision that this is our observation in North America compared to Europe or Southeast Asia, where people are feeling less confident or more confident coming back to their campus, or how the students are behaving compared to students in China to compare to the students in US. So as we can see, it provides the historical average compared to the Wi-Fi devices that are being connected. And that provides the information of different and granular information across the locations. That is okay, but we are interested to go ahead and set up that proactive alert density trigger, right? What can we go ahead and set up that provides us the information? So we are interested that we have a lab created in our campus university, and we have a restriction that no more than 6 people that we have allocated. And we have created a zone in our location hierarchy that provides that it should not be more than 5 devices at the same time. So let's take a look into that rule and understand. And the count devices should not be more than 5 in a given zone for this particular San Jose CXC building. And if there is, please go ahead and alert us via SMS. So even if I'm at the lunch, I can get that information and we can notify what's there. So that provides us the information that we have it. But we would like to go ahead and make sure that what actions that we can take on top of it to avoid similar situation. That's where our density trigger report provides us the information. It provides information about, hey, on the floor 1, that trigger took place 1 time, while on the floor 2, it happened for 5 times. And during that trigger, did we successfully send out an email or not, right? Or successfully send or not? Did we inform? We can gather that information. And on top of it, we can gather that information how and time and so as we can see over here, email notification was being sent and triggered, and it was successful. And the last time it happened over here is one building, and we can go ahead and figure it out. Which building was it? And why did it happen? What zones were created in that building? So all that detailed information is available. So we looked into it. Now moving into location analytics. So location analytics is good information. It provides us visits that is happening. And on top of that, is there any actions that we can take Is there anything we can do to make it better? Okay, let's take a look. Visitors visits and dwell time is good. Can it provide any more detailed information? Like what are the exits and entry points are there so that we can inform our HVAC to go ahead and increase or reduce temperature for those specific entries or exits, which people use it more often, or which students are use it more often in cafeteria or any library or any building. So as we can see over here, we can go ahead and take a look into this, which provides us the different path um, and provides us the information, the zones that we have created compared to other AP and directly entry and exit. Compared to the last 4 zones are less used. So we should focus our energy utilization on the first 5. So all that information that can be shared, that can help us to automate it and help us to reduce our carbon footprint. That is for the location analytics. What about our behavior metrics? What can we do? Right? And behavior metrics that provides us the information about, hey, the visitor for this particular building is this one, and compared to the other floors are that. And the visit duration, right? It's like more about the frequency. How often our employees are coming to New York office compared to our San Jose office. That is the type of information that will help for businesses to make a decision for their retail. Is it a good idea to go ahead and increase it? Or should go ahead and have another office or in Raleigh? So frequency distribution, along with we can provide it how hours of the day, what are the hours that are being busy. So if we want to make an announcement in our campus, what is the right time that we should choose? And as we can see, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday has been busy compared to the Friday. So what can we do to encourage our employees to come back on Friday? Or what can we do our students to come back on campus on Friday? Or help our cafeteria to make a decision that we have seen this consistently. Students have been coming a lot less on Friday so that they can prepare food according to that. So that has been a good information overall with our built-in application, right? What we are keen to understand is, apart from that, what can we do, right? We talked about our partner application, our 9100 can act as an IoT gateway. So without taking any further time, let's jump onto it to understand what are